I'm a femtop twink, and I'm here to take Yonto.
And I want nothing to do with any of you sexually.
And this is Lip Sync Video Review.
Welcome to Season 6, our first ever audition edition.
I am Blake, and I am joined by Mikey, and I'm very excited to be doing this again because we love doing this, and I fucked up the recording the first time. So we're going to kind of have a shorter intro and might be a little bit shorter on critiques, but we are going to be anyway because there's 21 of you, and we want to get through these quickly. So Mikey has a quick disclaimer before we start, but we're going to hop right into it.
I'm going to say the same thing that I said every episode of Season 5, that this is meant as constructive. Yes, we're going to be a little bit fun, playful, shady about it, but it's not coming from a place of malice. And if anything that we say offends you, or you have a legitimate gripe with anything that our critique is, please message either one of us, or both of us would be even better, in a group message so that we can kind of talk it through and explain our point of view, hear you out, whatever it may be. But please know that this comes from a place of kindness, of enjoyment of the videos, and hoping to make everyone get better, because everybody out there can improve.
And honestly, I think we kind of saw that with giraffes, but we're going to get into that later when we critique giraffes. But for now, let's get into our first contestant, who is China Kill Myself, whose name I fucking adore and who I adore as a human being. China, I think you're fantastic, and I love you. I liked this video. I really liked your punk rock glam aesthetic. Um, I think as you make more videos, you're gonna build your confidence more because there was a noticeable lack of it. Like you weren't really comfortable in front of the camera, and that was expressed in your movements. So to everybody, if you don't make it on the season, please do carry-ons so you can build your confidence in front of a camera, and you can audition for season 7 and take it by storm. I think you're gonna make it on, China. That's not me trying to shade you. I think you're fantastic. I had more to say last time, and I'm completely blanking on all of it, but I'll toot this video, and I know Mikey has more constructive critique than I do.
I agree. I think that China is fantastic. I think that her personality shines no matter what she does. That intro video was hilarious. We didn't get too many of them, but what we got, especially from you, was quality. That was really, really well done. Not really judged, but as a judgy human being, nice job. I think that Blake hit it on the head. You were really good. The lip sync was tight. You had an aesthetic and a character, but what you need is more time in front of the camera to be more comfortable. You need to really commit and connect, which you will, but you just got to do a couple more videos before it's fully there. You're like 80%, we want 100. The other thing, when you're not lip syncing words, when you're there's a pause or an instrument break, don't leave your mouth open because it just reads a little bit funny on camera, especially with how big your lips were painted in the video, that it just kind of gave me a strange quality to looking at you in those moments. So I agree with Blake. I think that you are definitely one of the people to watch out for this season, because I think that you have a lot of raw talent, but just gotta have a little bit more experience in front of the camera.
I'm assuming that's a toot?
100% a two.
Hot. Alright. And our next contestant is Jenna, aka Snake in Discord. And Jenna, I think you are fantastic. I think you are so full of energy. I think you're adorable. I love your makeup. I love you as a person. I have some problems with this video. My two main ones being that you filmed in portrait and not landscape, and to all of you, film in landscape. The black bars are very, very distracting. And there was also a cut in your video, and I noticed it around, I want to say, yeah, 2:38. It was a really small cut, and so I'm sure that's why Shady was okay with it. But, and this goes for everybody, including a later contestant, you cannot cut two videos into one. It has to be one single take. on the season. No questions asked. That is a firm rule, and about the only firm rule that is in this competition. Like, besides the obvious things of, like, don't be naked, don't be a racist, etc., etc. So, I'm not going to knock you too much for it. I think the video was fierce. I think your movements were amazing, and I think you varied it very well. Like I said, this is round 2 of us doing the first 5 videos, and I booted this the first time, but in retrospect, I do think this is a toot-worthy video. So I'm going to give you a tentative toot because I'm feeling nicer than I was earlier. But film and landscape, damn it.
Blake has it exactly right. Yes, landscape, please. Also, move your camera up a little bit higher and trim off the ending of where you hit stop on the computer. Otherwise, the one take thing I can forgive, especially for someone who's new to the community. You may not have known that rule going in, so that's okay. As far as your performance, I think that you had great energy. You look like if Babs and Electra had a baby. That might not make a whole lot of sense to you, but it's going to make somebody else laugh and probably make Babs horrified, which is a 2 for win on my part. You came in early a couple of times with your lyrics, so just make sure that you're fully comfortable with the song, meaning when you're listening to it as you're practicing in the car, wherever, just make sure that you're listening every so often instead of lip syncing it. That way you can kind of catch the nuances and make sure that you're hitting entrances and exits of verses exactly where you need to. The song Vibology, my favorite Paul Abdul song, but it's very repetitive, which could have been a killer, but your reveals, your movements, your energy level all kept me really interested. I think you have a lot of raw talent, and I kind of want to see what you can do when you're given more of a tighter, like a tighter theme to work in. So, with that being said, I think you are an easy toot for me.
You know, you've said it twice now, but Jenna absolutely is, like, Babs and Electra's love child, especially if, like, Aquaria got in there.
Yes, she moves like Babs, but she looks like Electra's face.
I love it.
And up next, we have Earth Intruders, who I have been referring to affectionately in my mind as Space Invaders. I think that this was an interesting video. I think that coming out in an outfit made completely out of cardboard and a pink wig was a striking first impression for us. I think that that's kind of something that we've never seen before. Nobody's kind of made a full outfit out of an unconventional material for a concept, even for the Back to Basics challenge. That's never been done. So there was kind of an art school element to this that felt kind of avant-garde and interesting. The unfortunate thing was that the song choice for me didn't translate because there wasn't an obvious lead vocal, so I wasn't sure what to look for in the lip sync. But that was also made more difficult by standing underneath the lights where you were, because that obscured your mouth, and it's hard to see the mouth shapes, especially since you weren't really enunciating fully for us to see it. So what I would say is just make sure that you're fully cognizant of how something reads on camera. So do a test take before you settle on that being what you submit. So for those reasons, it's a boot for me, but I think that you probably have some really interesting ideas.
Absolutely. I think conceptually, this was a really cool video. Um, we've never had anybody make an outfit out of cardboard and only wear that, so props to you for that. And it took a whole lot of balls to come out in that ratty pink wig, but, you know, Marcella did it, and she won, so good on you for that. Um, I I think this video came down to song choice, and it was a poor song choice, and I think that's what really kept this video from shining. And so I implore you to really consider when you're picking a song, is this going to translate into a good performance? Because you could visibly see how the song was restricting you and how you were moving. And I think the cardboard, as cool as it was, contributed to that. And on a weirder note, I just feel the need to say this. If you're going to only be wearing underwear, please remember that this community is filled with a lot of gay men, including myself, and some of us are really big dick pigs, and that will be distracting. and that will take away from your video. And so I genuinely mean that in a way of like constructive critique. Be aware of your audience and be careful with your outfits that you choose. So for those reasons, I'm going to have to boot this video as well, but I really hope that you make it on the season because I think you could really produce some interesting stuff. And up next, we have the breakout star of Season 6 and TDR Cycle 9, I think. Giraffe's Tourist Buckle.
Cycle number.
Yes, that one. And Charm School. Cycle 3, which I quit. Because fuck Sally. I'm just so excited about this video. You've improved so much. I feel like you went back, you listened to the critiques that we gave you and the ones that I gave you and yelled at you about for 3 years. And you finally applied so many of them. And it shows. Because this video was fucking good. And I really never thought that you would reach this point because it's taken so long to get here, and we've given you so much critique that to see you applying it is seriously one of the most wonderful things. Like, you had a full outfit that wasn't just a robe, you had purpose in your movements, you had a look, you had a concept with the knife in your hair, which terrified me, but I think was such a cool decision. Your overlay was right, your sync was mostly tight, and I'm just so proud of you. And to get a little, like, to dive back into old critique a little bit, I want you to focus on your camera angle and where your camera is aiming at your body. Because looking up at you is almost something that you never, ever, ever want. Because that kind of creates a disconnect with the audience, and it feels like we're looking up at you, and psychology says that that makes us feel inferior. And that's not a good thing. You don't want to make your audience feel inferior. So I would maybe try to move it up a little bit. I usually recommend eye level, but you don't have to do all the way up to eye level. But really, other than that, fantastic job, Giraffes. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see you on the season because I know you're going to make it, and it's a toot.
I also have almost nothing but nice things to say. I'll hit the couple things that I think need a little bit of work before I give a bunch of compliments. Fix the angle, like Blake said. I feel like you're very tall, so I feel like it doesn't have to be eye level because that might be difficult. But even if you just raised it up a foot, it feels like it's almost floor level, and you need it up a little bit more so that it doesn't feel like you're towering above us, like Blake said. I think the other thing to watch out for is when you do a look, be careful with the color lip you choose, especially with how bright your video is. A dark lip against how bright your video is tends to obscure your mouth a little bit, but it was clear that you had all your words down and your enunciation was there and your overlay was right, but the dark lip made it a little bit harder as the audience to watch your mouth move. So keep those in mind, but like Blake said, so much right with this video. The stunt was gag-worthy. Nobody expected you to pull out a knife and chop your hair off, which fit exactly where it was in the song. You moved with purpose and not just because you hadn't moved in a little while. Everything felt natural to fit with what the song was. You told the story of the song, which I think is a great idea for an audition, because I want to see what you do with more of a tighter restriction in terms of theme. But I think for a first video, this was a solid way to go with it. Really, really nice job, Giraffes. This is a toot as well. And up next, we have Gael Grotesque, also known as Jack in the Discord, with the makeover into Mickey. I think that the emoting and the sense of humor that you had in the beginning was great. I thought that that was really fun and set the tone for what we were doing. Then the concept was fantastic. I thought that as far as a makeover, taking it literally, fine. It was funny. You got a laugh there. But it felt like the concept took over and the lip sync became the backseat, and that's the opposite of the way it should be moving forward. You seem too focused on getting the makeup on where it kind of should go, where as an audience member, it would not have mattered if your contour was where your blush should be, if your powder was everywhere. It doesn't matter. We're going to get what you're doing no matter what. You don't have to be focused on how that comes across in terms of like, this is actually where it should kind of go. And part of that was that you were looking at the screen. It was almost like you were using it as a mirror, but it kind of read like you were reading lyrics, and that takes away from the audience's experience as well. So just make sure, like, even if it's a test run or kind of just don't really care, focus on the lip sync more so than the concept. They're both important, but this is a lip syncing competition after all, not a concepts competition. So make sure that the performance itself is the focus and not so much that you're worried about the concept going around it. So for those reasons, it's a boot from me, but I'm really excited to see what else you do, whether it be in the season or as a carry-on.
You know, Gloria might try to convince you that lip syncing is all about a concept, as she did on season 4 when she ranted at us for 15 minutes in a voting video. But I digress.
Who? Who? I don't. What?
The nose.
It doesn't ring a bell for me.
Yeah, she's like Pinocchio, but uglier. You'll remember her eventually.
I don't think I will.
That's fair and valid. But to get back to you, Gael, I'm convinced it's Gail. We're gonna have to talk about that. Jack, I did like this video. I think you were in the Together tube, so you saw me laughing the whole time because I really was laughing the whole time. I think this video was hysterical, and I think the concept was really funny and cute. I think Makeover was a fantastic song choice. My problem lies in the connection of Makeover and Hey Mickey. I didn't fully understand the bridge between that, and that's where the video kind of fell for me, was that the songs felt like two different things tonally, and I feel like Hey Mickey, one was not a great choice for you because you're not like a big high energy performer, and I feel like that's what the song calls for. And then it just didn't have a connection to Makeover. I didn't really see that. I didn't get that. So in the future, if you're going to do a mix of two songs, which I commend you for doing, I think it's a difficult thing to do, and I think you did it very well and very smoothly. I think about the connection between the two songs and think about how the two songs connect to your concept and make sure those are nailed down so that the audience can see it. I'm going to tentatively toot this video like I'm kind of blowing on your eyelashes just a little bit, that kind of toot with just the tiniest little fart. But I did like it. I'm really excited to see what else you do.
And up next, Glamadonna with 666. I thought the introduction, holding up the Satanic Bible at the beginning, was fantastic. I thought that the chair dancing was cute. The problem that I had, the song choice was very repetitive, and there wasn't much of a concept to help elevate it past just being fun. The three fingers, holding up three fingers at a time for 666, or 1 2 3 6 6 6, didn't make sense. If you were going to do the fingers, hold up 6. The chair dancing, like I said, was cute, but I think that being seated limited your movement, or maybe it was just the way, like the location in which this was filmed. It felt very narrow and tight. I loved the look. I thought that the goth appearance was really fitting for the song, but there just wasn't a whole lot here past I am a Satanist, I wear heavy eye makeup, and I'm doing a song called 666. It just was a kind of a non-event for me, and I think that the lip sync itself was fine. It's just the rest of the video didn't kind of elevate past it. So it's a boot for me.
Well, first of all, I think you're giving Gissy like a run for her money on being the prettiest woman in this Discord. So congratulations for that. I'm really conflicted about this video. I would never, ever, ever choose a song by Sharon Needles again, personally, just because she is a pretty known racist. And I'm not cool with that. I'm not going to knock you for it. Just in the future, definitely do consider who is performing your song, because it will have an effect on some audience members.
As someone who did Azalea several times, like, it's okay. There's no one's going to police that. So
Right.
just know that that's an artistic choice, both on the artist end and on your end for what you choose as a song choice.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying be careful because somebody might have a problem with it. I'm not crazy thrilled about it, but I'm not insane. You never know with this community. We're all kind of crazy. Just be careful. Um, I want to defend your three fingers thing because I thought it was so damn cute, but I really can't figure it out because if you're like, I know that you did it on both fingers or both hands, excuse me. So it eventually counted to six, but it was only one time. And yeah, no, I was confused after watching this video. I think you have a lot of raw talent. I think you need to pick a less repetitive song. And I think you maybe should really try to bring up the energy level a little bit more. And I think by not sitting down, you can do that. I'm going to give this a tentative boot. And again, be careful with your song choice. Maybe I'm the insane one here. So you can completely ignore this critique. It's just a personal thing. And up next, we have the illustrious, the beautiful, the amazing Theo. And Theo, you know I adore you with every fiber of my being. I'm so glad you're in this community, and I'm so glad that you're making videos and auditioning. I wasn't a huge fan of this video. And that breaks my heart to say that, because I love you so much. Maybe it was like the song choice was a little bit weird, at least for what I feel like you would be performing. But you didn't really like kind of take it there for me. I think there were cute little gags with your movements. I think the confetti was cute. Um, it kind of didn't feel like you were matching the energy enough. Like it was a lot of arm movements and not a lot of whole much else going on. And I think that really detracted from it. Um, I like the space you're recording in. I would be careful with the lighting because it was completely focused on the left side of your face. And there is a noticeable glow on your left cheek and also bouncing off your glasses. And that got a little bit distracting in places. Um, I'm really, really proud of you for making a video. And I hope you keep making videos. And I really hope that you succeed in this competition because I adore you. But I am going to boot this video.
I think that there are. I'm gonna say something that I feel like most people are gonna be surprised by. That I really enjoyed this video. I think that it reminded me of myself in some ways, and maybe that's why it kind of like Theo and I have a connection. But I don't. I'm trying to be as objective as I can. But in terms of the video, it reminded me of some of the things that I would have chosen as far as what to showcase, because it showcased a tight lip sync. There were a couple of gags that kind of showed practical effects over special effects, which I very much appreciate. And there was a level of rehearsal to this that felt like well prepared. However, that well prepared thing kind of made it feel a little bit robotic and stilted. So, my suggestion is something that worked for me for almost everything I filmed in season 4. I would have a drink before I filmed because I felt like I would loosen up a little bit. Now, of course, if you're under 21, ignore me, but I felt like it loosened me up a little bit to the point where I wasn't going to be hyper focused on, does this look dumb? Am I looking stupid? Like, it's okay. Just take a deep breath, loosen up, do a couple takes that you know are just going to be throwaway. Because by the time you get into it, you'll have rehearsed, you'll see what it looks like on camera and be like, ooh, wow, I look like a robot. But then also you'll get into a point where it's like, ooh, yeah, I really liked what I did there, so I want to do that again. I think that you could have benefited from more of a strict concept, but again, I think that it was smart to show off just a solid straight up lip sync where you knew all of the words, had every little nuance down to it. So for me, this is a toot, and you look like Ricky Dillon.
Wasn't expecting that ending there. On the note of drinking before you do a lip sync, I got completely trashed in the video that I went home on in season 4, completely by accident, because it took me so many takes. So I drank a half a bottle of wine. Don't go that far. but I wouldn't advise against having a drink before any of you film, as long as you're 21. So Jenna, don't do it.
And up next, we have Yanto with Liability. And I'm going to get this done in like 7 words tops. Striking filming choice, great emotion, maintain the bar you've set for yourself, shoot.
Hi, Yanto. So, um, I, I know it terrified you a little bit when I invited you to the Discord, but I legitimately think that you can win this competition. Just based off this audition, you're my pick to win. No question about it. And it's not even because you're hot. Which, just by the way, I said Shady was hot and thought he would win at the beginning of season 5, and he did. So I'm kind of a psychic about these things. But seriously, this video was fucking incredible. I was shook to my core. It was artistry, it was beautiful, the sync was tight. I think the song was so haunting and such a good choice for you. The use of the paints and the color were really, really, really cool. And I can't think of a video in recent memory that has done this before. And so for you to bust this out with your audition, what the fuck, dude? And then to also say, yeah, I just filmed this in 30 minutes the night before. Like, fuck you. What the fuck? I'm mad. You are so fucking talented. I'm gonna stress what Mikey said. Do not flame out. It will happen if you're not careful. Keep this momentum that you have. Do amazing things on this season, but make sure you can keep it up the whole season. And the tiniest critique in terms of the paint and the black and white on your lips, we were seeing the orange because of the color of your lips, and that's not something you can help. I know that. But if you see that happening, I would implore you to be careful and maybe pick a different color, like a green, because we don't really have a lot of green tones in our skin. But 100%, this is a shoot. You're incredible. Hit up my DMs whenever. And now for somebody who has been around in this community longer than I have, one of 2 that auditioned this season, KH Roxas, Kingdom Hearts Roxas. I don't particularly know your lip syncing history in this competition and in the community in general. I've seen a few videos from you here and there, and you know, I think you really do have a lot of raw talent. I don't think this was your strongest video that you've ever produced, that from what I've seen, but I do think this was a good video. I think it was a really, like, off-the-wall song choice for you. This is the last thing I expected you to be doing. So congrats on that for surprising me. And also surprising me with that fucking split, which seriously shook me to my core. I mean, I enjoyed your movements. I enjoyed your energy for the most part. I think you could have brought it up just a little bit, because I know you're not a dancer, but you're not a dancer, as we saw. The movements got a tad repetitive, and I know that you didn't want us to see what was outside of your camera, and that's why you had the black bars around it. I know you've explained that. I would rather see what's outside of your camera than the black bars. That's just me. I don't know how other people feel. I don't know how you feel. That's your prerogative, whatever decision you want to make. But I'm really proud of you for auditioning, and I really hope that you make it on this season, because I know you've been here for so long and you deserve it. So this is a toot for me.
I think that there were some really good things about this video. I think that the idea to go from a geeky kind of Dungeons and Dragons DM into a transformation, I thought that was smart, and I think that there were elements of that at play, even though the concept wasn't fully realized. I think that had that been explored a little bit more, that would have made this video more than it was. The energy level, I think, was right in certain spots, mostly during the choruses, but because I think that the look kind of tied into the verses more, where you kind of appeared confused, and I know it was like playing the character, it didn't really hit the way it could have. I think as far as the lip sync goes, it was there. The dancing, incredible. I really think that's something that you could do in the future, in something that didn't rely maybe as much on a the concept as this did, but to lose the elements that made the character obvious pretty early on. Even if you had, okay, you tossed the inhaler and you're gonna dance, like you could have amped it up rather than going to a 10 right away. You could have gone to a 5, danced with the bag of dice, and then up to an 8 and lose everything else, and then bam, at the end you're hitting a 10. So I think that that could have been done a little bit better, and for those reasons it's a boot, but not a major steel toe boot. It's like a gentle nudge booty boot.
I just want to throw props your way for being body confident and wearing something like that and being comfortable enough to wear something like that and share that with us. So thank you for that. I think that's awesome. And to everybody, be proud of your bodies. Love who you are. You're all hot. I love all of you. I'm not going to flirt with Yanto again.
And next we have Andrea, like a record baby. She did Sweet Dreams. I think that there were some really, like Marcella pointed out, some really good Eggs grainy moments, and Eggs being kind of very straight on performer, but with those very silly kind of goofy moments that really kind of endear you to the contestant, and you definitely have that. My favorite parts of this were the funny moments, the fist, the walk like an Egyptian, the miscounting how many C's there were. Like that was really cute. The song has been done a few times in lip sync. You would know that. It's okay. The one thing I think would help is the overlay, which you know you're going to learn. It's okay. That's the one really negative part that I have. Other than that, I was shocked that the fisting thing just shocked me as a person, but I also laughed hysterically after. So please continue to do that goofy humor thing, and I think that as we move forward and you get more of a box that you have to stay in with themes, that the concepts that you come up with from that kind of madcap style will really translate, and I think that you can really serve some magic. So this is a toot for me.
I just want to point out, I was the one who pointed out the Eggs grainy connection, so jot that down, audience and Mikey. Anyway, I am so excited to talk about you, Andrea, because I adore you and I think you're wonderful and I think this video is wonderful. I'm going to say, I would love to challenge you to see if you can go a little bit higher concept, maybe do a little bit more of your body, like waist up while you're standing up, and do something with a little bit more energy, because I think you have it in you. But I think you're fucking fantastic. I think you are an incredible personality, and I think that's clear in the video. You have, you know who you are, you know your humor, and you nailed that. And that was so refreshing to see. We absolutely do not have that many women in their early 20s like you know, doing videos and bringing your perspective into our community and our lip syncing world and our performance world. And so to have you here genuinely is a gift, and I want to thank you for that. I am so excited to see what you do. I think you're going to make it onto the season, but if you don't, please stay around. Please do carry-ons, because you are something this community needs, and you are wonderful, and I will happily toot this.
And up next is a boy named Queen, who, full disclosure, during the audition process, Blake and I were in a group message with him to kind of flesh out some ideas that he ended up going with Carry On. I think that this was great energy. I think that you hit every word. There were nuances to this that you knew like the back of your hand, which can only come from this being a song that you love. So it was clear your love translated in the video. The song benefited from your arm movements, but not every song is going to need that. So watch it, because you gave some kind of Celine armography, very drag queen arms, without picking apples, which Tony Award picking apples, TM. This was really well done. I kind of want to see what you'll do when you have to come up with something concept driven, because your skill set is already there in terms of raw performance. I want to see what kind of clever or unusual spins you'll put on things as we move forward. But I definitely am hoping that you're on the season, and really, really well done. This is a toot for me.
You're my child and I love you. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I love this video. I I was so against this like mid or early 20s little white twink doing Carry On by Martha Wash. And I told you that because I completely did not trust you, and you exceeded my expectations with it. I think the movements were very correct. I think it was really, really cool. You repeated some for the chorus, which I did not mind in this video. Normally I do. I think like you did it not enough to bother me, but enough to make me notice it and appreciate that you put that much thought into it. I would also love to see you do something with a little bit more of a concept, especially when you're confined by a theme. I know you filmed this like pretty last minute, so I'm not going to hold that against you too much. But I could see you really going far in this competition if you can hone your skill set and make sure that you have an established character of who this boy named Queen is. And I'm really excited to see you grow into that person. So, really easy toot for me. And up next, we have Nick DeSanto, I believe, who just we will affectionately refer to as Nick. Um, yeah, I don't have too much to say. I really appreciate that you did Into the Woods, one of my favorite musicals. So props to you for that. I think you took on one of the hardest songs. I don't think it was too much going on in terms of each character. I think it got really distracting having all of them. And I think that came down to song choice. Um, Definitely try to keep those black bars out of the video. And I know you filmed this like 3 years ago, so obviously you couldn't, follow the rules of the audition and the competition, which is no cuts, and you had multiple. So I'm not gonna hold that against you too much. It was okay. Again, like props to you for taking on such a challenging song, but I think this was a little bit too much for you, and that showed in the video. So I'm gonna have to boot this.
As far as performance goes, this was varied. It was an ambitious undertaking. Um, the lip sync itself was fine. There was nothing, I didn't notice any missed words. The edit, again, Blake said it, but I'll say it again. The edit, the way that you've done this would have fit for a music video, which is the final challenge typically, the past few seasons. That would have been fine. For an audition, here's the thing. It's hard enough to kind of showcase yourself in a single song, single performance, one take, that you kind of kneecapped yourself almost with how short each interstitial moment was with these characters, that even if we kind of compiled one character, let's say the baker, if we compiled all of the baker performance, there wasn't really enough there to showcase your skill set as well as it could have been if you had chosen a solo song that you just kind of performed straight up the way you did all of these characters. So while it was ambitious and your lip sync was tight, it wasn't a good showcase for this venue, for this competition. So I kind of question your decision to use this video from 3 years ago rather than put something else together. So for those reasons, it's a boot for me.
And up next, we have Plutocrats. And I really have almost nothing to say about this because this was a live performance. And yes, we've had that before. Generally, it's not what you want because I couldn't see your lips. And, it was a drag performance. It was good. You're a good dancer. You're entertaining. I would tip you. I don't think it really fit the competition. So, I really just don't have a lot to say about this. I really hope that if you make it on the season that you'll, try to make a video for the competition with a concept and like kind of in the way that we all do it, because this just kind of felt out of place to me. So I'm gonna boot it, but I would tip you if it's anything.
This was a complete poot for me. There were no moments where I could see your lips. The frame rate of the filming was not there. It was like someone's flip phone, and no shade to whoever filmed it. I'm sure that they were doing you a service by filming your drag performance. But for this venue, for this competition, especially since in the comments of the thread for the auditions, it was highly suggested that people film something other than a live performance. The only live performance that we've ever had in this competition prior to these auditions, to my recollection, and someone is welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, was Calypso's in season 3 filmed something live. So it just does not work for this venue. It's not right. And there you could have filmed literally anything else and had more of a chance to get good critique. Like, yeah, if I was there in the bar, I would have tipped you. But for this venue, no. And up next, we have Asphyxia, also known as Onyx Envy or Jacob in the Discord. I loved this video. The emotion was there. The lip sync itself was tight. The look told the story that the music was telling. I think that this was just all around a well done performance. Probably one of my favorite auditions, if I'm telling the truth. The one thing I'll say, frame yourself better. You were giving me Jambi from Pee-wee's Playhouse. I know that that's a reference that only the over 25s will get. But basically, he's a disembodied head in a box, and that's pretty much what your video was. So watch that. If you're going to go that close, give us like a bust level. So chest up. If not, move back even further and give us like waist up. So just work on your framing, because otherwise this video would have been a shoot. But just because it was only your head and I only have just basically your mouth and face to judge on, it's just a toot. But really, really nice job, Jacob.
I liked this video. I'm not as crazy about it as Mikey is. I think it's a great video. I mean, it was very simple, which is never a bad thing. Well, not never a bad thing. It's usually a bad thing. Sometimes a bad thing. That's much nicer and more fair. It's sometimes a bad thing. It was not in this situation. I think you emoted very well. I think you really portrayed what you got from the song, and we got that as well. And I think it was very, like, beautiful. I'm going to focus a little bit on your look, especially with the makeup. I know that you have acne, and obviously I'm not going to say, like, don't have acne. You can't fucking help that. I'm missing my top row of teeth. Sometimes shit just can't be helped. What you kind of don't want to do is draw attention to that on your face. And the gems that were tears, which I think were a really cool idea, kind of drew attention to it for me, and it did distract me a little bit. So I mean that in a very kind way. And if that was hurtful or offensive at all, please do not hesitate to talk to me about it. I did not mean it in that way at all, and I will profusely apologize. But I just want you to present the best you that you can be, and to highlight the best features about you and the features that you want to highlight about yourself. I am going to toot this video because I really did enjoy it. So, yeah, great job, Jacob.
And up next is Lala Shot, also known as Raven Knight, who is an oldie comeback from. She was an auditioner in seasons 2 and 3, had been a part of the community for years and years and years. Somebody that I know pretty well. I remember the original version of How to Be a Heartbreaker that Raven did, and it was good then. What I'll say is, it is amazing now. You had the perfect energy, you had a tight lip sync, your choices in movement were perfect, you had a couple little flirty but funny moments in it that really kind of sold the tone of the song and the tone of the character that you had created for this. I really don't have a single negative thing to say about this. I kind of want to see what you'll do when the pressure of the season is on, because I do have a good feeling about you making it. Not to jinx anything, knock on wood, but I think that you did a really, really fantastic job, and this is maybe the one you submitted for my off season and your partition video are like my 3 favorite videos that you've done, and I think this might be the crown jewel in those 3. So really nice job, Raven. That's a toot if it wasn't clear.
Okay, I was gonna ask. Hi, Raven. I'm not sure if you actually remember me, but I kind of came into the community around the time you left, so we had brief interactions. But from what I remember, I always really liked your videos. But this is a standout video for me. I mean, I think this was so cool. It was so much fun. I think you were really flirty, you were sexy, you were cute. I'm sorry for all of us dragging your poor lace front wig. I really did thought it was like a hard line, but looking at it more, that is a lace front. So she spent money, honey. Yeah, Mikey hit a lot of the points for me. I really do think this was a good video. I'm really glad that you're back. Genuinely, I would very excited to get to know you more, especially just kind of continue where we left off in season 3. And welcome back. From the bottom of my heart, we're all glad to have you here, and I hope you enjoy your time in the Discord and on the season because I think you're gonna get on. But yeah, I'm gonna toot it.
And next we have Ryan XCX, probably related to Charlie XCX. Um, I thought that this was kind of an interesting video. At first, as a viewer, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be looking at. Was the camera handheld for a reason? Was there going to be movement? And that part could have probably benefited from being at a stationary point, because a lot of this was just your face and head moving and you lip syncing a song to holding your phone, kind of like you were filming a Snapchat video. But as it got further along, it felt like you got more comfortable and more into it and brought the energy up. But what I'll say is that you got to be careful with the angle, because I spent a lot of the time the first time I watched it going like, oh, he's got quite a vinyl collection. Ooh, Rumors, that's a great album. I love that. And oh, there's a Grimes album behind him. And it's just like, that's not what you want. You want you to be the star of the video. So what I'll say is, if you film at a stationary point, it gives you both hands in addition to your face, so that there's more you can do. That being said, I didn't think this was particularly bad as a performance. So I'm going to toot it, but know that there is a lot to work on if you make it onto this season. And if you're a carry on, there's a lot that you can kind of change to improve your chances next year if it doesn't work out for you this year. So that being said, it's a toot.
So we're gonna regress a little bit back into all the way back into season 5 when we were originally doing this series, and I was the really bitchy one, and Mikey was the nice one. Um, and I'm gonna quote myself here and include a quote from the wiki that we have now. I just didn't like anything about this. I didn't really get it. I'm not sure if you didn't really watch any of the other videos from past seasons and you didn't really get an idea of, what people normally do or what, but I mean, I think the song choice is okay. I think your lip sync was kind of tight. I There's not a lot to critique for me because I was extremely bored by it. So I'm gonna poot it. I hope you do carry-ons if you don't make it on the season, and I hope if you make it on the season that I can maybe offer you a little bit more constructive critique on more videos, and because I really would love to help you grow, but as of now, there's not much I can say.
And up next was Jules doing My Queen, Amy Winehouse. The character that you chose for the song and the way that you portrayed the story that the song told was sheer perfection. The lip sync was tight, you had nuance to it, it was engrossing from the beginning. There were subtle changes to your facial expression that were just really just awesome. I don't really have a single negative thing about this. I just kind of want to see what else you'll do. You had elements of this video reminded me of Shut Up, who is a great actor in that way as well. So you just kind of had a very familiar element to the way that you acted the song, and I really really enjoyed this. So this is a toot for me.
I also really enjoyed this video. I think you have so much creative energy that just like you just pour it out of your body. And even with such a simple concept of being this black and white little, you know, what I perceive to be a little French girl, I mean, it just worked. The set was so right. I loved that it was in black and white. The outfit was correct. Your sync was right. Your emotion was right. I think you are going to be one of our more high concept people this season. I'm so excited to see that because I might not have a gigantic nose and hate everybody, but I do love a good concept. I would love to see you maybe step out of your comfort zone a little bit later in the season and maybe do something a little bit more high energy if you're capable of that. And if you are capable of that and you're not planning to box yourself into being high concept, completely ignore my critique. Um, I think you're awesome. You're a really nice guy. I'm really excited to get to know you, and I'm really happy to toot your video. And up next, we have our second, yeah, probably second. Am I right about that, Mikey? About being a drag king?
Third, from what I remember, third we had Stark Finn in season 1 and Ko-Rook in season 2 or 3.
Forgot about Starkfin. Our third drag king, Jackknife, which fantastic fucking name by the way. Um, this is a song that I've wanted to do forever, and I don't know if I wanted to do it in a video or if I wanted to open my drag show with it. I don't know. I've always wanted to do the song. I'm so excited to see you doing it. I think you are a character, and I love it. You have a clearly defined person who you are when you're Jack, and that came through in this lip sync. I think there were so many funny little gags and things that you did. You are so good at defining your movements and making them clear cut and per god damn it. I'm completely blanking on the word. Showing us emotion and like showing us the emotion you're feeling from the song. I don't know what that word is. Fuck. The chest hair gag made me fucking cackle. I was so not ready for it. I think that was awesome. There's, some things that you can work on. If you have like an iPhone or an iPad or something, that will be much better to record on. The quality is going to be much more clear because I think you were using your laptop camera, and that'll also allow you to put yourself in a different place and have a little bit better of a set and better lighting. And look at the camera if you can. I think that maybe you were. It's just with like the probably what I'm assuming is a webcam. It can sometimes be hard to see where you should be putting your eyes. But other than that, fantastic video. I will happily toot this.
I agree. There is a lot of great things here. We love a drag king. That's points. If you get on, what I would say is, if it's at all a possibility, find something better to film with, because it was a little bit stilted in some frames, and just kind of didn't showcase you in the best light it could have. But the lip sync itself, super tight. The gag with the chest hair, fantastic. You have a very expressive face, which I think translates really well to lip syncing. Blake hit it on the head with watching where your eyeline is, because again, it looked like you were reading lyrics off of a screen. So remember to look at your camera. If it's hard for you to see it hard for you to kind of maintain that, what I used to do is literally draw eyes, googly eyes, on a sticky note and stick it behind where my laptop was, so that I was looking at something that I knew exactly where to kind of focus my vision. So that may be helpful for you. If it's not that issue, then just make sure that you're really connecting with the camera and therefore connecting with the audience, because this was fantastic. You as a drag king kind of look like if Groucho Marx and Stephen Colbert had a baby, and I think that has a lot to do with the expressiveness in your face. So really, really nice job. This is an easy toot for me.
All right, I'm killing myself after that Groucho Marx, Stephen Colbert comparison. So the end of the video is here. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. And up next, I don't even know how to describe her. It's Gissy.
Eternal Queen, Goddess, Hell on Earth.
One of my favorite human beings that I've ever met, truly. I adore you with every fiber of my being, and I'm so proud of you that you were able to make a video at all, because I know how hard this was for you. And I'm getting literally emotional talking about you. You are fucking fantastic, and I know how much talent you have in you. And for you to tackle fucking spoken word for your audition video, good on you for that, bitch. You're insane, and I love you. I think this is the perfect spoken word for you, because I could totally see all of this coming out of your fucking mouth. And it was great. I think, I know you didn't have a lot of time to record, so I'm not going to knock you too much for it, but it was really funny, but that was about it. I I know you're funny, and I want you to be funny on the season. But I hope from the bottom of my heart that you are able to showcase something other than how funny you are, because you are a beautiful soul and you have so much to offer this world. Please show us that. Please show us that. I mean, it's an easy fucking toot. You're amazing and I love you. And I'm going to keep talking and start crying, so I'm going to let Mikey go.
So Eva is easily one of the funniest people I have ever met in my life. Um, I think that this character, this kind of Chanel Oberlin, very Heathers, uh, fantastic choice for her because it showcases how just absolutely twisted she can be, but still have just a beautiful, docile smile on her face. I wrote literally, this is so out of the Eva box, yet somehow still so you, because there was a period of time where all of your videos were like lesbian Lilith fair tracks. But now that you're kind of giving us the most ambitious thing you can do for an audition, spoken word, the title card set up your concept in a way that you didn't have to do anything else to achieve it. The nuances that you had with kind of just the twinkle in your eye and the smile, it all just really sold this cunt of a character. And I think that it was just stellar. I am so excited to see what you do this season. You are one of my votes. I'm not going to reveal any of the other ones, but know that you got one. And just really, really nice job, Eva. Really proud of you. This is an easy two. And up next, we have a late entry into the auditions. We have WC Plays with Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. Again, Amy Winehouse, my queen. Really great song choice. What I'll say is that the story that you told and the way that you told it with, reaching for the wine and then no, I need to make a change in my life, and no, always coming back to that crutch, was perfect for the song. It's exactly what the song called for. I think that you have the emotion down, excuse me, but I think that you need to consider your actions, the physicality of what you're doing as you're emoting, because a lot of them felt very one note. The things that you did for like wiping your tears, you literally took your scarf and blotted your tears, raised your chin up, and those things are fine. It's just you could have just you could have moved your hand across your face quickly instead of the pantomime with the scarf. The enunciate more. Make sure that your mouth is bigger to fill what the singer is doing, because it almost looked like speech rather than singing. So be careful of that. What I would say is do a little bit of research. Go back and watch some of the videos that past contestants have done that are straight on emotional. Babs is the one that I hit to you last time, and I'm going to say it again. That watch what Babs does in terms of emotions, because she can go from one to the other very quickly, and you just see it in her face. So what else? Video. This was video song choice, and I think that you did well with. There are still some things that you work on, and let's just see how it goes. I think this is a toot for me.
So I know Mikey just cut out a little bit there. That's just Discord being a fucking asshole, so I apologize for that. We got most of the end of it, so I'm not super worried about it. But if you are curious what he said, feel free to ask him. And I hope I'm not cutting out too. You listened to my critiques that I've had for you and have been harsh on you about, and you have a concept. So props for that. I think that's great, and I'm really proud of you for growing, and I'm very proud of you for auditioning at all, because I know what happened, as you shared with us, and thank you for, still trying to submit an audition and trying to do something. So again, props for that. What Mikey said about how it looked more like speech rather than, lip syncing, I very much agree with. I think enunciation and the way your lips curve around the words is a big thing. Emotion was a big thing for me too. If you want some recommended videos, Cold War from Babs during All Stars. I think it was Drag Suicide Week. And Man on the Moon by Coco during Drag Suicide Week during All Stars. I think those are two amazing emotion videos. Doors, The Fear from All Stars during Story Week is also a great video to watch for emotion, and that's for everybody. I don't know why I just picked three All Stars videos, but I did. I think watching those and kind of looking at how they do it, I think that will teach you a lot. I think you're growing every day, and every lip sync you produce is better than the last one, and I'm really proud of you. And even if you don't make it on the season, please, please, please stay around and keep doing carry-ons because you can grow so much. I'm gonna toot this. I will toot this, and I hope that you take our critiques to heart like you have been. And just before our final video, we have popcorn. I have literally nothing to say to this. I said everything I needed to say to the other one that submitted a live performance. I don't honestly remember her name, sorry. Yeah, I don't care. Watch the old videos, see that this isn't something that we really do. And submitting a video off Facebook has never been done before, so I guess props for doing that. But if you make it on the season, actually try to make a video, please. I'm gonna put it.
I think that this one was marginally better than Plutocrats' video in the sense that we could see your mouth. However, we couldn't always see your mouth because this was a cabaret performance, which if I had been there and tipping was allowed, I would have tipped. I would have bought a ticket to come see it. But for this venue, for this competition, it's just not a good enough showcase of what you could do or offer to. It just doesn't work, and I'm sorry for that. I hope that you, if you're active in the Discord, please continue to be so, and join us. Try a carry on in the typical style of this. It's fine if you're going to do a live performance. Just make sure that you don't turn around and that the lip sync itself is really the focus of what you're going to do. But this is a poot for me.
And because Mikey and I literally cannot come to a decision, we have two top toots. Mine personally is Yanto. I said it in his critique. I think this is one of the best, if not the best auditions I've ever seen. It's fucking incredible. You're gonna do such good things on this season. I'm so excited to see what you do. Please spread your wings and fly and succeed and also call me.
And my top two of the week is Less Driven by Thirst. It is Jules. I think that in terms of just sheer audition, Yanto and Jules both had very striking first impressions, and I think that they are both of equal lip sync ability, and I can't wait to see what kind of grudge match comes from this season with the two of them hopefully being part of the cast.
And on that note of me opening Gissy's video, because I really thought Mikey was gonna top toot her, thank you all for joining us. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I'm gonna edit this down as much as I can, so I'm sorry if it's really long, but take our critiques, apply them if you feel like you need to apply them, grow, change, and have a good fucking time, because this is so much fun. And it's gonna be a good summer for you guys.
Yes, and thank everybody that auditioned, because even if you got a boot, that doesn't mean that you weren't entertaining. It doesn't mean that you were, awful. You shouldn't have done this. Like, it's just you have more room to improve than others might, but that's okay. That's what this whole summer is about. Whether you're on the season, whether you're a carry-on, whether you're a viewer, it's all just about the journey. So thank you for an entertaining few hours of videos, and I can't wait to see what the season has in store.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and Shady Guava, thank you for joining us. I'm Blake.
I'm Mikey.
Have a wonderful, whatever time of day it is where you are when you're watching this, and rep season 6, go fucking vote, and also put in songs for the hat to torture them. Bye, guys.
Bye.